Hey everybody, welcome to this channel. Today's video is going to be a little bit different because I'm going to be reviewing this microphone right here. It is the Blue Yeti, and the reason I'm reviewing it is because a benefactor of the channel sent it to me for free because they were not really enjoying the audio out of this guy here. Now, this is a BM800 series microphone. It's sort of that eBay variety of $25. Actually, the two I will do a sound comparison with, but one thing you do need to note is that while this is a $25 microphone, this is a $200 audio interface. And while this works well when you're talking loud and for music, and I have the interface to generate music, the problem I ran into was just simply I was basically making a lot of noise. There was some reflections, and this microphone is literally designed specifically for podcasting and for vlogging and talking to you like I am right now. So it's sort of a nice thing to have. So be sure to stick around for the end of the video where I'm going to show you some tips and tricks to get the best sound quality out of your Blue Yeti microphone. Okay, so this is just a quick little test. So right now I have it in cardio pattern. So I'm going to lift it up and hopefully rotate it without having it make a lot of bad noises. But I'm just going to talk in a normal voice and say crazy stuff like, hey, I'm talking in a normal voice as I rotate this thing around and say, hey, I'm talking in a normal voice as I rotate out of the rotate, as I rotate, as I rotate, as I rotate, which I'm sure is kind of annoying, but you can kind of see here how much the microphone is directional in that case. And there you go. Now, obviously, there are the other patterns that are available, and I suspect that they do equally well. There are 3 microphones in here. So I suspect one microphone is facing me, one microphone is facing away, and one microphone is probably facing up or is an omnidirectional microphone that sits between the two of them. I'm just guessing. I'm not going to take the cover off to find out. So the Zoom has 4 patterns, and what I had set to was cardio mode, which is what you generally would use for a video vlog where one person's talking. Then you have stereo mode, which I guess is useful if there's left and right sound. I don't see this particularly being useful that much. Omnidirectional mode makes sense if you have this at a table and there's a lot of different people talking, and bidirectional is useful if you are doing an interview of somebody. Now, I'm going to throw the tech specs up here for a second. The main thing I'm going to mention is that it is a 48 kilohertz sample rate. It is 16-bit, and it goes from 20 hertz to 20 kilohertz. So from that perspective, it'll cover a large range of sound, and you should get a nice natural sound as long as you're not doing anything extreme. Because I found when I did my test of this microphone, it works well for talking voices, louder voices, but as soon as you start doing something like music, it starts to get a little bit crackly. Let's jump into a audio comparison of the two. Now again, remember that this is a $150 microphone that I just touched, whoops, and this is a $25 microphone connected to, again, a professional audio interface. So I'm going to say the following line that I'm just making up right now, which is, there is a galaxy swirling behind me. I'm not sure why I did this, but it's a cool effect. There is a galaxy swirling behind me. I'm not sure why I did this, but it's a cool effect. There is a galaxy swirling behind me. I don't know why I went with this, but I thought it was a cool effect. There is a galaxy swirling behind me. I don't know why I went with this, but I thought it was a cool effect. Hopefully that'll give you an idea of the audio too. Now, one thing you will note about the audio from this microphone here is that you're hearing it mono on both sides. But when I'm actually recording it, it actually only records the one side because the other side is actually plugged into my guitar. And that was a problem when I was trying to do live streams. It was only coming out of one ear. That's a problem. The other aspect to it of it was that this worked quite well, but when it was quiet, the noise floor was audible, and it has a tendency to pick up that lower range, which correlates to my computer. Despite the fact that it has some quieter fans, this just has some issues. Okay, so we switch back over to the Yeti here. Move that out of the way. And basically what I like about this is that while that's just a basic condenser microphone, this one here actually has 3 condenser microphones inside it. So that allows me to have a more versatile microphone for later. And also it tends to just work well, and it has a mute on it, and you can actually connect at the bottom to have real-time feedback. Again, I do have an audio interface that I can use for this, but it became a little bit strange to use it when I was doing live. So that's sort of an interesting one. Anyhow, what else do I want to say? So one trick that you need to know about the Blue Yeti microphone is that the gain button on the back here, right here, is about set to that. Now, I'm going to give this tip credit to Rob, which I will put his Blue Yeti review up here in the corner, because he gave me sort of the head start. I tweaked it a little bit for mine, but that seems to be a pretty happy spot. You can turn the gain up, but there is a bit of a noise floor that does eventually come in. And at the end of the day, you generally talking like this, that's all you really need. You don't need to be yelling, you don't need to be screaming, and you definitely don't want it to be popping out with loud noises when you have certain consonants and vowels if you're somebody who doesn't talk in a very monotone language. And tip number 2. One important note I will mention with this microphone, it is written in the user manual, which is a very basic thing, but it's listed there. It might not be something that people will notice, and that is you need to plug this microphone into your main USB port. So there are powered USB ports and unpowered USB ports. And if you have a USB hub, you probably don't have a powered USB hub. And the problem is with this having 3 microphones and the preamp all inside it, if you plug it into like an unpowered port or through a hub, it sometimes makes a very staticky sound. And I'll show you an example here when I first did it, because I plugged it into a hub and I was wondering what's going on here. StarNet++ is easy to use, and it allows you to remove the stars from your Astro images. But the reality is that it requires quite a bit of power, so it does need to be into a powered USB port. So plug it into the back of your computer, or if you have a laptop, make sure that you plug it into a dedicated power port rather than one of the side ports that are not necessarily powered. It's usually a little Thunderbolt symbol or a lightning symbol on it, and that will tell you which one you want to plug it into. If you plug it into a port, especially with, say, a web camera right here, you're going to have problems. And it's not really well explained, but it is in the user manual. Plug it into the plane, and that seemed to solve up and clean up everything. As you can see here, this sounds absolutely fine, and it's working without a problem. So yeah, just something to consider and give it a try. But yeah, so that's sort of why I did this video today. It's not a huge review. It's not a, oh my God, let's compare this with 12 different microphones. Because at the end of the day, it works. It's a popular mic because it works. And at the end of the day, if you don't have all this fancy audio gear that you can sort of do stuff and post-processing stuff and 1,000 extra steps, I just have to take the audio and plug it into the computer, and I'm good to go. And that saves me time. And this is just easier, and I'm not having to play with some other audio effects to try to solve the issues that microphone produces. Hey everybody, thank you for watching to the end of the video. I did want to give people a tip for those who made it that far, which is for most of the video you saw me talking into the mic directly, and you might hear some pops and as I'm talking. This is not the greatest pop filter possible. It's probably a good idea to get a pop filter with the Yeti. However, one trick you can do if you don't like a pop filter is simply move it off to the side. So now I'm talking like this. I'm not actually blowing air directly into the microphone, so you don't get those pops and hisses as you might have gotten before. It's a neat little trick, but it's one of those ones where a lot of people I see, they talk right into the microphone like I did earlier in the video, when just moving it off to the side and rotating it so the microphone is facing you, so the microphone's now at a 45-degree angle. That works quite well. So just a little quick tip there for people who made it through the video, because it's something I realized after I did all the editing, that this is another great tip that I can give you. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up and hit the subscribe notification, bell notification, whatever else YouTube wants to send you saying, do you want to see this content? You want to say yes. And thank you for watching.